So let's continue on this project. In the last video, I'm going to minimize myself. In the last video, what I did was I went through and I created kind of the logic to be able to connect this consumer resource microservice to a database. And we were able to get that working, I hope. Now, the next step is going to be, okay, well, from that, how are we able to actually implement the logic that we want? So we need to come in and go implement some of these uh, controller mappings. So let me figure out what we want to do. So I have this database, right? The Postgres database that I'm connected to. Or no, the MongoDB database, yeah. It's a MongoDB database that I'm connected to, okay? And I want to be able to search this database, find the consumer is going to consume. So I need to find the resource, which would be whatever item it is. So I need to probably search by name or something, okay? And then I need to try to decrease that number, the quantity, by however much they want to consume. And then there needs to be safeguards, like if I am being requested to consume an item that doesn't exist, I need to handle that. If I'm asked to consume more items than I have, I need to handle that as well. Okay, so the first question that I'm going to have is, if I have this REST controller here, do I need to create another? So I should be able to do like something like this, at get mapping. So I'm going to do a, actually I want a post mapping, right? So I guess here's an interesting thing. So if I am doing a consume where I'm taking away, would I still do post? Because post is normally like adding, right? It's not the delete one in CRUD, like create, read, update, delete. This is technically deleting. Although not really, because I'm not actually deleting something, I'm just reducing. So I'm still doing the logic. Okay. Let's just say it's a post, and we'll figure that out later. So now I think I need to, let's see. So I'm going to do a post mapping to here. It's the same one, but this is a get mapping. This one's a post mapping. Okay, so public string, and then consume page, okay? And now I think we need, let's see, we'll need to return like the status or something like that. And do we need whatever request body or something? Let me just see if it's a body. Does that auto complete to anything? No. Rest, no. Okay. I am going to take a little bit of a hint at my previous ones. So I'm going to come here to controller and do supply controller and look at my post mapping. Okay, so it's request body and then of type Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Public list. So this is what I'm returning, a list of supply entities. Okay. Then I just return that all. Okay. So let me come back to here. So request body. There we go. And now what do I want? I want this right here, right? So supply. Kind of like this. Okay. And now I want to find element by name. So how would I do this? I need to communicate with this supply repository, right? So repository. Now, did I inject this? I think I need to do an injection. Possibly. Again, I'm gonna come here and see how they did it. So we did not oh, we did. Okay, so private final repository. Okay, so this is how we did the injection. So I should be able to do something very similar, which would just be whatever, private, final, and then I want this supply, right? So no, I want the supply repository. So that's the name of the class, and I will call it repository, okay? Now, did I need some kind of annotation above here? Let's look, no? Okay, apparently not. And I remember asking Copilot about this because I was curious, like, hey, why don't I need that, like, to inject this? And I think it was saying that it is like constructor injected or field injected. It's one of those things. So we can go back and ask that exact same question once again. So we can ask it again and figure out. So repository, this should be okay. Dot find all. Okay. Possibly like this. And now I'm gonna say I need to capture it, right? So what am I getting back? I'm getting back those entities. I'm getting back a list of models, right? Supplies. And this is going to equal, or the variable name that I can give it is going to be, I don't know, items, okay, like this. Now I need to loop through all of those items and try to match the name up here. So and I don't know how to do so I'm just gonna, so for over an array or iterable. Okay, so apparently that's how we do it in Java. So for iterable type, supply iterable element is going to be items. It doesn't like that. And this is going to be called item, singular. Okay, doesn't like it. What's wrong with this? Okay. So I'm gonna ask Copilot and see what it has to say about this. Why does it not like my for loop? Okay. You declared your list as items, but then tried to loop over item, which doesn't exist. Okay. For supply items. Okay, so the actual thing that I'm going over is this, and this is what I want to declare. Okay, that should work. So this is like for I in items. Okay. So now if item dot, okay, doesn't like this. Do I need to do it like the whatever C way of doing it? No. Okay, well, is it? Okay, there we go. If item dot name is equal to supply dot name, if this is the case, then what do? Then we have found our item. Okay, so this is the item that we need, and now we need to decrease its value by the quantity. Okay, so I want to say if item dot quantity is greater than less than supply dot quantity. Okay, this is the case that there's an error. Okay, because the user is requesting more items than we have actual quantity, right? Like they're requesting 10 pens, but the collection only has 3 pens. Well, we can't do that. So what do we want to do in that case? We want to do we want to reject the request, or do we want to decrease it down to 0? So should it be like an all or nothing thing? I guess what we can do is reduce it down to 0. And then send back an error message. Okay, So let's try to do that. So I want to do repository dot delete, and can I do like delete by ID? .id. I don't know if that's gonna work. And now I want to return status. Is there anything about status? No. Okay, how do we return a status? Okay. Oops. Okay. So return repository find by name get. Okay, so this actually might be a little bit better better way of doing things right there. How can, so number one is how can I return a status code to the user for an error and for a success. Okay. Two is how can I search and delete or lower the quantity of an item. Do you think I am implementing the logic in a reasonable way? Okay. Do I have any more coffee? Very little bit. Okay, returning status codes. So I need to implement these two. Okay. Did I already do it? I don't think I did. So let's do that. Okay. And now I should be able to do. No? Okay. Return. Okay, so now I do a response entity string. So now I need to figure out what's going on here. So return response entity dot status. Okay. So this is going to be a response entity. And now I think that they had brackets here and said string, something like that. Response entity dot status. Is it HTTP status? I don't know. Response entity dot status. Okay. And then I'm setting HTTP status to okay. How did they do that? Dot okay. Alright. And then dot, what was it, send? Is that right? I don't know. We'll see. Oh, dot body and then success. Okay. And actually I want this to say not enough inventory. Okay. So, and I don't want to say okay. I want to say $400. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay. So, can I do bad request? Okay. And then let me come here and just copy that. And because we're going to do the same thing here, right? Like this. But this one I'm going to say item not found. Okay. Like that. Now, if we did find it and there is enough inventory, I want to now go and lower that number. So I need to do repository dot, I don't know, update. Does this just go to anything? Okay, well, I think that this would just be like something that you find in the documentation or something. Supply.getQuantity. So they're just sending back an okay. So now in this case, I can do set quantity. So I'm, okay. And it's of the actual class. So this class, so it's of type supply in new item. It is going to be equal to, I don't know, new supply okay, what is happening? Okay, so this is the same. If item dot get name, so item is a specific item is the thing in the dictionary or in the database. So I want to operate on that item. So I don't want to do this. I want to do item dot set quantity. Okay, so I'm setting the quantity for that specific item. I want to take item, which is currently in the database. So item dot get quantity, okay, minus the request, which is here. Supply dot get quantity. Okay, and now I want to save this to the database. So repository dot save and then item. Okay. Why does it not like that? Oh, maybe I do need to use the getter. So get quantity, get quantity, get name, get name. Okay. Get ID. And this one actually I'm a little bit I might be able to actually just do item, possibly. Let's see how they did a delete. Delete by, okay, so repository and then delete by ID. And then item dot get ID. Okay. And now they're using equals ignore case, which is a method of this name. So item.name. Okay, so equals ignore case, okay, and then I want to pass in supply dot get name, like that. Okay. And then once I save, I want to return a response entity, and then status http status dot okay dot body items deleted. Okay, like that. I don't know if this is gonna work. But let's try it. Okay. Do I first need to go and actually check the items and the quantities? So I need to go Mongo shell, right? So now I need to go in and show collections, okay? add something else. db dot use my collections. Nothing in there. I thought I had more collections. Show DBS. There we go. I need this supply here. So use supply DB. Okay. Show collections. Okay. DB dot supplies dot find. Oh, well, I misspelled it. Supplies. Okay. I still misspelled it. There we go. Okay. So now I have this here. Bandages is the name. And I want to decrease by, and it's currently at 100. Okay, so bandages, I'm gonna make a little note of that. So name is bandages, and quantity is 100. Is 100. Okay, and now I can exit from here. Okay. I can start my service. So Maven Spring Boot run. Okay. Well, that sucks. Do I need to do something in my Palm? Yeah, we'll see what the it says to put in my Palm. Oh, okay. All right, let's redo it. Symbol class supply. Oh my goodness, okay. So I didn't import the supply yet, okay. Post mapping, body request. REST controller. Okay, post mapping and supply. I need to get mapping. Okay, so I need to do something very similar, which is going to be this exact same thing, but for post. Okay. Post mapping, there we go. And now the other thing is I need to tell it about supplies. So I actually do have supply right there. Just see if that fixes it. Nope. What if I just do this? How about this? Nope. Okay. That. And then just copy all of this and put it in there. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like the main. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Well. This. Consumer controller, okay. .java, okay. Can't find symbol. Request body. So do I need to import? Let me check here, because I have request body, and did I do anything up here? At least we have less errors. That import, okay. Supply resource supply request body. Okay. Let me just put that there. Why did I not need it here though? Whatever. Oh my gosh. This is one. Variable repository not initialized in default constructor. Well, I think that's... But I didn't do it here. So why does this one work? REST controller, request mapping. Okay, let me put this in it. Okay, there you go. And now give it the error. But then that actually doesn't even answer my question, because my question is going to be like, okay, well, why was I able to do it on the other one? Okay. Because class, but doesn't initialize it anywhere. Java requires final field. Okay. Let's spring inject it. That's what I want. That's what I want for you. But I don't believe I had this thing in. I could do auto wired. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. This works, but constructor injection is generally preferred for better testability. Okay, let's just do a constructor injection. I don't know. Consumer controller. Okay. Ah, there we go. Okay. But now my question is, why did this one work? Why did this one work and the other one didn't? The reason supply controller works while your earlier consumer controller failed comes down to constructor presence and field initialization. Okay. This one works. Yeah. You declared repository field as final, which means it must be initialized. You provided a constructor that takes supply repository and assigns it to the field. Spring Boot sees this. Yeah. Okay. But my other one didn't have a... There's no there is a constructor. I just didn't see it. Never mind. Okay. So now I need to do a post mapping to here. Okay. So I should hopefully be able to come here and this is supply controller. So this should be down, right? Oh no, it's up. Okay, I don't know. So here's what I need. This one. It needs an ID, a name, and a quantity. Okay, so try it out. I actually don't think I need any of these. I just need this, which should be bandages, and the quantity should be, I'm just gonna say 3, okay? So now we're gonna execute, okay? And I got a code 500 and there was an error. Okay. Internal server error. Okay, so I guess it might not be able to communicate with the database, possibly. Okay. So because this has a whole bunch of stuff, let me just see if I can do something simple, almost essentially copying something from let me go down here to my, I don't need this, right? This is nothing. How about I just do this? And now I can do something like this, okay? Paste this into here. So get mapping, and this is going to be return or find all, okay, like that, and call this, I have the supplies and repository. This should be the same. So I'm gonna just see if I can even find anything, and then from there I will see it. If I'm able to find something from this database or from the consumer resource, I know that the consumer resource microservice is able to talk to the database. If I'm not able to do that, I know that the problem is between this Java and my database, right? That's the problem. If I am able to communicate and find them, okay, well then the problem is this post mappings logic. Something's wrong in there. So we're gonna figure out what's going on. So I should be able to restart this and get that find all, okay. So now I'm just going to do execute, execute, and we got a 200 and bandages 100. Okay, so what do we know? This gives us information. It tells us that my microservice of the consume resource is able to successfully talk to the database. So I know that my connection is not the problem. The problem is not in this interface here. It's not in this this class here, right? It's not in any of these things that I created to have connection between the Java server and the MongoDB database. I know that that connection's working. So that indicates that the problem is actually in this logic. There's something going on in this logic that it doesn't like. Okay? So now we need to figure out, like, okay, well, what is it? So that's what we now need to figure out. Okay. So, could it be that okay, so I get the supply, and the only things that I care about are the name and quantity, right? Yeah, so I don't care about the ID and the thing that I'm passing in. Okay, that makes sense. Item is going to be doing a find all. Now we just kind of proved that we are able to do find all, right? So that should be okay. Then I'm taking this items, this is our iterable, it's a list, and I am iterating over it. So each of these is an item in my database, okay? So now I can do get quantity because I have a list of classes, and so I'm doing get quantity, which we have that. And now supply get quantity because that has a field of get quantity. Or would this actually just be quantity? It might be I don't know. Did I do that in... This is actually a pretty good question, I think, because it underlines that I have some questions about things. Okay. So supply is of type supply. And so this is a class, and I should have access to the method of get quantity, right? But I'm actually just passing in a parameter, which the parameter has 3 things. So I should be able to just do this supply.quantity, right? I'm not sure. I do need to go back over this and ask more questions. I'm just gonna see if it works. I don't know if it will, but I'm just gonna see. Well, it didn't like that, so. Okay, let's change it back. So get quantity. Get quantity. Get name. Okay. All right, but we didn't change anything, so we're still gonna get that error. Um, okay. So does this look right? I am getting an error, a 500 error when I use Swagger to hit this endpoint with data of, okay, let's come here and let's go to this one, right? Name, so try it out, okay? Name is going to be equal to bandages. I don't care about this. This is going to be none, so I don't even care, right? And this is going to be 5, okay? When I do execute, it should I already verified that I can use Swagger to hit an endpoint that gets all of the entries. So it proves I can communicate with my database. Okay. Okay, null pointer exception. Okay, well, I can just omit it if okay, so let me just try multiple things. The first is the easiest, to just delete this and retry, re-execute. So I still got that 500, okay. So if item.getID is null, or the ID doesn't exist in the database, so get by ID, and I'm doing item, which comes from the repository, which all of those have an ID. Okay. So let's try this little trick. Of this. So this was, let me see. Supply.getName is not null. So come here and do this and then do that. Okay. And rerun it. Let's see if that works. Okay. I'm just gonna do the exact same thing. 200 items deleted. So now I want to come down here and I want to do a find all. And we should have 5 less. Right there. There it is. There it is. We got it. There it is. Okay. We're making progress. Good. So, I'm gonna leave this video off here. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, probably get something to eat, and then I will be back and make more videos. See what progress we can make in the future. So if that's interesting to you, subscribe and join me along in this journey. I'd love to have you. I hope everyone is having a great day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I'll see you in the next video.